For generations, we've been spoon-fed stories about our supposed dietary heritage. We've been told that cow's milk is a miracle of health, that meat is our primal right, and that our ancestors, the infamous cavemen, hunted and feasted on meat like nature's perfect carnivores. But what if I told you that much of this narrative is not only misleading, but a deliberate fabrication? A web of lies spun to keep you consuming, keep you reliant, and keep you weak. It's time to challenge the official story. It's time to break down these myths of modern nutrition and get to the truth. Let's start with milk, the so-called perfect food. Think about it for a second. Would you drink rat milk? How about giraffe milk? No? Then why is cow's milk being touted as a staple of human health? It wasn't always this way. Milk is literally baby food for calves, and drinking the breast milk of another species is a behavior unique to humans. But this is no accident. This is the result of billions of dollars of marketing. The dairy industry is a multi-billion-dollar machine that spends over $1 billion every year convincing us that milk is essential for strong bones, good health, and longevity. But the reality is that milk consumption has been linked to a slew of health issues: osteoporosis, certain cancers, digestive problems, and inflammation. Independent studies reveal that milk might be doing more harm than good, yet these findings get buried, dismissed, or even mocked in favor of corporate interests. And that's the key: corporate interests. The dairy industry funds most of the studies that supposedly prove milk's health benefits. They lobby governments to ensure dairy stays in food guidelines. They infiltrate schools to put milk on the lunch tray of every child. It's not about health, it's about keeping you buying and believing, keeping their profits growing while selling you a lie. Now, let's talk about meat. The mainstream narrative tells us that humans are natural-born carnivores, descendants of rugged cavemen who hunted mammoths and thrived on flesh. It's a nice story, but it's pure fiction. The truth: there's no solid evidence that early humans were primarily meat eaters. In fact, the evidence we do have paints a very different picture. If we were really carnivores, wouldn't we have the physical traits of meat-eating animals? True carnivores, lions, tigers, wolves, have sharp, pointed teeth for tearing flesh. Their jaws move up and down to rip meat efficiently. Humans? We have flat molars ideal for grinding plant matter, and our jaws can move side to side for chewing. Our teeth are far better for chomping apples than tearing into carcasses. True carnivores have short digestive tracts to quickly process meat and expel it before it rots. Humans, however, have long intestines perfect for absorbing nutrients from fibrous plant matter. This is one of the reasons why raw meat can make us sick. It lingers too long in our digestive system, potentially causing toxicity. Carnivores have highly acidic stomachs to kill bacteria in raw meat. Human stomach acid is weaker, making us prone to foodborne illness from uncooked meat. We simply aren't built to handle it the way carnivores are. Carnivores produce saliva with enzymes that help break down proteins and fats. Human saliva is loaded with amylase, an enzyme that starts breaking down carbohydrates from fruits and vegetables. Our bodies are literally primed to digest plant-based foods. Carnivores have claws, sharp night vision, and speed for catching prey. Humans are none of those things. We're not physically equipped for hunting. Instead, early humans used simple tools for foraging plant foods. Evidence suggests that when early humans did eat meat, they were likely scavengers, eating the leftovers of true predators. More evidence against the meat. Myth. Human teeth and evolution. Our teeth are much closer in structure to those of herbivores like primates, who eat primarily fruits, leaves, and nuts. We lack the large, sharp canines that carnivores have for killing prey. Digestive enzymes for carbs. The human pancreas produces enzymes specifically for breaking down complex carbohydrates, an unnecessary feature for a natural carnivore which doesn't need to digest much plant fiber. Vitamin C requirement. Unlike carnivores, humans need to consume vitamin C, which is found abundantly in plant foods. True carnivores can synthesize their own vitamin C. Uricase enzyme deficiency. Carnivores have the enzyme uricase, which helps them break down uric acid, a byproduct of eating large amounts of meat. Humans lack this enzyme, making high meat consumption potentially harmful as it can lead to gout and kidney stones. Cholesterol issues. Carnivores have no problem with cholesterol buildup in arteries. Humans, on the other hand, suffer from clogged arteries and heart disease with high meat consumption. Meat's effect on gut flora. Meat-based diets promote gut bacteria linked to inflammation and disease, whereas plant-based diets promote healthy gut bacteria that improve immunity and digestion. Evidence of foraging. Tools. Most early human tools found in archaeological digs were used for digging roots, gathering grains, and processing plants rather than for hunting large animals. Absence of fossilized weapons. Archaeological records show a lack of weapons or tools capable of killing large game until much later in human history, suggesting a primary reliance on plants. Plant-based nutrients are essential. Humans require phytonutrients, special compounds found only in plants, for various bodily functions, from detoxification to cancer prevention. These nutrients are absent from meat. Chronic disease correlation. High meat consumption is correlated with higher incidences of diseases like heart disease, cancer, diabetes and hypertension, conditions far less prevalent in societies that eat predominantly plant-based diets. High metabolic cost of meat digestion. The process of metabolizing meat places significant strain on the kidneys and liver, unlike the easy metabolism of plant-based foods, which provide hydration and nutrients without the metabolic burden. Saturated fat and inflammation. Meat, especially red meat, is high in saturated fat, which is linked to inflammation, a precursor to many chronic diseases. Plant-based diets are naturally anti-inflammatory. Hormone disruption in meat. Meat from factory-farmed animals is often contaminated with hormones, antibiotics, and toxins, which can disrupt human endocrine systems. Plant foods are far less likely to introduce such contaminants. Vitamin and mineral deficiency. A diet heavy in meat is low in important vitamins like vitamin E, vitamin K, and folate, which are abundant in plant-based foods. A lack of these nutrients can lead to compromised immunity and increased disease risk. Lack of evidence for regular meat eating. Analysis of ancient fossils shows wear on teeth consistent with plant-based diets. There is minimal evidence of the kinds of consistent, heavy meat eating that we are led to believe was commonplace. Herbivorous ancestry. Our closest relatives in the animal kingdom, chimpanzees and bonobos, are primarily herbivorous, eating mostly fruits and vegetation. If we shared a common ancestor, it stands to reason that our natural diet would resemble theirs. Lack of protective adaptations. Carnivores have developed physiological adaptations that protect them from pathogens present in raw meat. Humans, lacking these adaptations, are at risk of serious illness from consuming improperly cooked meat. Nitrosamines from cooked meat. Cooking meat at high temperatures produces nitrosamines, which are known carcinogens. This is another major health risk that humans face from eating cooked meat. Carnivorous behavior and stress. Hunting requires an aggressive, stress-driven mode of survival. The physiological markers of humans, such as our cortisol sensitivity, suggest we are not designed for the constant high-stress states that hunting requires. The omega-3 to omega-6 balance. A healthy ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acids is crucial for health. Meat-heavy diets are often high in omega-6 and low in omega-3, leading to inflammation, while plant-based sources like flaxseed provide a better balance. The carnivore diet, a new fad with no long-term studies. The carnivore diet is a relatively new phenomenon, gaining popularity only in the past few years. Unlike other dietary approaches that have stood the test of time, the carnivore diet is unproven in the long run. There are no long-term studies on its effects, and any short-term benefits reported by its followers are likely due to the initial boost provided by high mineral content in meat. Meat is rich in minerals like zinc, iron, and magnesium, which can lead to a temporary surge in energy and an improvement in mood. This initial effect often makes people feel better right away, but it is important to understand that this is not a sustainable or balanced approach to nutrition. All diseases are ultimately linked to mineral deficiencies, and while meat can provide some minerals, it lacks many essential phytonutrients and antioxidants that are abundant in plant-based foods. In the long run, a carnivore diet can lead to a host of health issues. High consumption of meat makes the body more acidic, a state in which diseases, including cancer, thrive. The lack of dietary fiber from plants also negatively affects gut health, which plays a crucial role in immunity, digestion, and overall well-being. Moreover, the lack of important vitamins and minerals that are only found in plant-based foods can result in deficiencies that compromise long-term health. The body's acid-alkaline balance is critical for maintaining optimal health. When the body is too acidic, it creates an environment where inflammation, disease, and cancers can thrive. Plant-based diets help maintain an alkaline state, which supports immune function, detoxification, and reduces the risk of chronic illness. Meat-heavy diets, on the other hand, push the body towards an acidic state, increasing the risk of conditions like osteoporosis, kidney stones, and chronic inflammation. Adrenalized meat and adrenochrome. Another concerning aspect of meat consumption, particularly in modern factory farming, is the presence of adrenalized meat. When animals are slaughtered, especially under stressful conditions, their bodies release high levels of stress hormones such as adrenaline. This process results in meat that is highly adrenalized, which means it contains elevated levels of these stress-related compounds. There is a parallel here to adrenochrome, a compound formed by the oxidation of adrenaline. Adrenochrome has gained attention in various conspiracy theories, but the underlying concept is rooted in real physiology. Stress hormones released during moments of extreme fear or stress can have profound effects on the body. When we consume meat from animals that have been subjected to fear and stress, we are ingesting not just the flesh, but also the biochemical remnants of their trauma. This adrenalized meat can have a negative impact on our own health. Consuming high levels of stress hormones through meat may contribute to increased anxiety, stress, and hormonal imbalances in humans. These stress hormones are not something our bodies were designed to process in large quantities from our diet. The cumulative effect of eating adrenalized meat can lead to an increased risk of chronic stress, which is a precursor to many modern health issues, including immune system dysfunction, high blood pressure, and chronic inflammation. This is yet another reason why a diet focused on plant-based foods is more aligned with human health. Plants do not carry stress hormones, and their consumption promotes calmness and balance, rather than contributing to the stress-related health issues that are becoming all too common in today's society. Archaeological evidence. More plants, less mammoth. Archaeology backs this up. Analysis of ancient tools shows that early humans were primarily gatherers. They used tools to dig for roots and forage for nuts, berries, and seeds, not to hunt large animals. Fossilized dental plaque reveals microfossils of plants, not bits of meat. Isotopic analysis of fossil teeth shows a carbon signature consistent with plant-rich diets, further busting the myth of the carnivorous caveman. When humans did eat meat, it was likely as opportunistic scavengers, eating marrow from carcasses left by predators. This occasional meat consumption was a far cry from the meat-heavy diets we're told are essential today. The notion of the primal hunter-gatherer is more about Hollywood and marketing than history and evidence. The evolution hoax. The lies run deep. The caveman myth doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's part of a larger story, or rather, his story, the tale of human evolution. We're taught that we're simply the end of a long line of evolved apes, whose dietary habits evolved from eating bugs to slaying mammoths. But where is the proof? Much of what we think we know about human evolution is built on conjecture, fragments, and a lot of wishful thinking. This convenient myth of evolution also feeds into our acceptance of the industrial food system. By convincing us that our ancestors were hunters, they justify the environmental destruction of factory farming and industrial meat production today. By framing our diets as part of an inevitable evolutionary process, they strip us of choice and funnel us into a system that profits from our ignorance. Modern health implications. Meat is no miracle. If humans were designed to eat meat, then why is chronic disease rampant in societies with high meat consumption? The statistics speak for themselves. Countries with meat-heavy diets have soaring rates of heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. Meanwhile, societies with plant-based diets like those in the blue zones, Okinawa, Sardinia, Loma Linda, are thriving with longer lifespans and lower rates of chronic illness. The health risks of meat go beyond cholesterol and heart disease. When meat is cooked at high temperatures, as it often is, it forms carcinogenic compounds such as heterocyclic amines, HCAs, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs. These substances have been linked to an increased risk of colon, pancreatic, and prostate cancers. No such risks exist for fruits, vegetables, or whole grains. The fruits and vegetables, our true nutritional allies. If we're not carnivores, then what should we eat? The answer is as simple as it is beautiful. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and other plant-based foods. These are the foods our bodies are designed for. They're easy to digest, rich in nutrients, and align perfectly with our anatomy. Fruits are rich in vitamins, antioxidants, and natural sugars, providing clean energy. Vegetables are loaded with minerals, fiber, and phytochemicals that prevent disease. Traditional human societies that relied on these plant-based foods, rather than processed meat or dairy, lived longer, healthier lives. The bigger picture, a system of control. So, why have we been fed all these lies? It's about control. The dairy and meat industries aren't just selling food, they're selling dependency. By convincing us that we need milk for strong bones and meat for strength, they've locked us into a system that keeps us sick, keeps us consuming, and keeps us reliant on pharmaceuticals when their products inevitably harm us. It's not just about food, it's about power. It's about keeping you disconnected from nature and from your true self, while those at the top profit from your ignorance. The caveman, the milk mustache, the burger as a symbol of strength, all are narratives spun to keep you eating what they want you to eat, to keep you buying into their system. What can you do? Break free from the lies. The good news: you don't have to accept the story you've been told. Here's how to start. Question everything. Don't just accept what the media or industries tell you. Look at who benefits from the narratives we're fed. Ditch dairy. It's unnecessary and likely causing more harm than good. There are plenty of plant-based alternatives that are better for your body. Rethink meat. Consider cutting back. Embrace a diet rich in plant-based foods. Reconnect with nature. The closer you are to natural whole foods, the harder it is for corporations to control you. Eat real food. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes. These are the foods that align with our biology and are the true foundation of human health. It's time to wake up and see the system for what it is, a carefully constructed lie designed to keep you buying, consuming, and believing. The truth is simpler. We're not carnivores. We don't need milk, and we certainly don't need to buy into a narrative that profits off our ignorance. Are you ready to take back control of your health? The truth is out there, waiting for those brave enough to see it. Let's break free from the myths and embrace what our bodies are truly meant for. A world of vibrant health, clarity, and truth awaits, if only we're willing to question the lies we've been fed for too long.